Alright, let's do a DCS video again, this time with a little bit of a Team Yankee flavor. I'm doing a mission that I made myself, so I've added some cool stuff like B-52s on the taxiway, there's F-15s, another B-52 down there, and so on and so forth. And I'm in an A-10, and the mission is just a ground attack training mission. So I've got my throttle down, all the way off, turn the electrics on, and engine 1 start. Now, luckily for me, the A10A module is the easier of the two to get a hold of, to get kind of used to. This one here, for example, hitting engine start 1, it automatically starts the APU first. It automatically starts the engines. I don't have to worry about manually flicking a bunch of switches. I've seen some videos, and the A10C takes about 5 minutes to get the start up. So right now I'm just spooling up the first engine, and as it's coming online I can actually taxi out on one engine power and then use the APU to start up the second one. My goal is to get moving before the second B-52 shows up, so I want to taxi before that. So the APU is the bottom one there, and then the engine is the one right there. It's got two stages. The inner stage is, it's kind of geared. So there we go. Engine 1 is on. We can taxi now. Close cockpit. There we go. I'm gonna get ahead of that B-52. Start engine number 2.
Ready? Clear to taxi to runway 7.
And completely ignore that. Now I've gone ahead and put in a couple of fun things in here. I've got some Canadian tanks, some Paladins, some Lavs, M113s. There's some American stuff in there too. And where I'm going to be bombing, I've got some BTR-80s, like in my Team Yankee stuff. I've got some self-propelled artillery.
Alley armor at Bulls 159 for 21.
I've got some radar, and I've got a HIND-D parked on the runway. So hopefully we can drop some bombs on that stuff in our A10. We're going to take the shortcut here. We don't want to wait for the B-52. But we do have to wait for engine number 2 to spool up. And it's only now starting to. So we just gotta wait. And we may not beat the B-52. Oh well. Actually, I wonder if it'll hold short. If I go ahead, it'll probably crash into me. Yeah, we can beat it. Yeah, it's spooled up just in time. And waiting for instructions from the tower is for suckers. And we certainly beat that B-52, so we're going to have to wait. So we do have a full armament, so it's a little heavy. Wheels are still on the ground, kind of rolling, kind of not. The master caution is always on whenever you load the wheels up, which is fine. Now the wheels are up flaps, just climb out. So I've got some nav points set up here, if you see on the top right.
Losing 1 is RTB at 1,800.
Turn the cockpit lights on. And instead of following the waypoints, we're just going to take the shortcut. So we'll go into air-to-ground mode.
Texaco is RTB at 1,800.
So what we've got is we've got some bombs. Oops, that's me stalling. So I've got some bombs. I've got some Mavericks. You can see the TV camera of the Maverick there. There's an ECM pod. Over here I got 2 Sidewinders. And I've got another Maverick. And I have some bombs as well. Just some general purpose bombs. And I keep getting the stall warning because I'm heavy. And I've gone ahead and I've placed all the stuff. We're in kind of like arcade mode. I mean, you can have super detailed. You see in the distance there the red dots. I've got labels on, so I mean it shows you where the enemy is. It shows you where the friendlies are. So all the blue stuff is friendlies, and all the red stuff is enemies. So I've already got it all kind of lined up for myself, which is kind of cheating, but you can turn all that stuff off. And I've got it on, and you see the X up ahead there. I'm just zooming in. It's at an abandoned runway, so there's no trying to look for it. Look for the targets in the
Infield,
trees.
artillery at bullseye 159.
And we can get a closer look. We can cheat by
21.
using the Maverick TV. So I'm just going to put the Pipper.
Infield, tally bandit at bullseye 143
Shoot.
20 at
Shoot.
1,400.
And for some reason it's cycling through all the friendly stuff at the friendly airport.
Infield, tally artillery
And
at
there's a
bullseye
tank.
160
I
for
got it lined
21.
up. The flashing cross down there means I can
Infield,
shoot.
tally Sam at bullseye
So
160
Maverick
for
went away.
21.
And I've only got 2. So let's
Infield, tally armor at
Shoot.
bull 160
Shoot.
do
for
the other tank,
22.
which is right there.
Infield,
5
tally
seconds
artillery
there, fire
at
and
bull
forget.
160 for 22.
And now we're going to be in bomb
Infield,
mode.
tally
So
armor at bullseye
kinda wanna watch
160
them
for
hit.
22. Infield is RTB at
there's one
1,700.
hit. The other one should have hit too. Let's have a look. See. Yep, 2 hits. So now we're going to go into a
Infield
dive,
airborne.
because these are just dumb bombs. And this may or may not work.
Shoot. Shoot.
Bombs away.
Pull up, pull up.
Yes, I know to pull up.
Altitude,
Should we all stall
altitude.
out? I'm getting shot at by the BTR-80s. So we will... I don't think I hit anything. Well, the bombs did drop. I am short 2 bombs. Oh well, that's unfortunate. We'll have to... the only things that are shooting at me are the BTR, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a higher altitude bomb drop on them, and then do gun runs on the rest, because I don't want to get shot and killed too much here.
Infield,
yeah.
tally Sam at bullseye 160 for 21.
So I'm just going to line myself up. I like having them on the runway lined up, so I can to do the gun runs, just to get the practice. It's pretty good. So we'll just swing around here. A little far. So when I place these, I know that at the ends of the cross runways is the heavier stuff. So on the 2 southern end, that's why I used the Mavericks on the 2 T-72s. And the BTR-80s that have... It's a pretty crazy long-range gun that they've got. So I'm going to go for the BTR-80s, line myself up here. And hopefully to get these bombs down on them. There we go.
Infield 1, airborne.
So I've got the vertical dotted line lined up, and as I get close, the circle comes up and
Shoot.
bombs away.
Shoot.
Altitude, altitude.
I hit him, but he's still there. I think I've only got 2 bombs left. Nope, I have no more bombs, so everything else is going to have to be with guns. Actually, there is a helicopter parked in the very center. I want to test this out, see whether or not the Sidewinders can hit it on the ground. So we'll see. So that's the infrared seeker, that growling sound. And that's my
Shoot.
warning.
Shoot. Shoot. Shoot.
We'll wait for the first missile to go so it doesn't home in on my own missile. with cannons.
Shoot.
You take out anything
Shoot.
else that's still there.
Altitude, altitude. Pull up, pull up.
One BTR-80. That's the next thing to go with my guns, because I'm sick and tired of being shot at.
Infield 1 is RTB at 1,800.
Well, the HIND-D looks like it's hit, but it's still actually there. That thing is armored up. Unlike in Team Yankee, where like a 50 cal can shoot it down, it's... I mean, I just shot 2 Sidewinders at it, and it didn't... It's not destroyed. So we'll go around again. Yeah, so unlike an F-15, you can't really yank and bank this thing. And I mean, it's got a nice big wing and all, but it still stalls fairly quickly. Alright, BTR-80, you are mine. Once that's down, everything else can just... I can take my time, I won't get shot.
Springfield, airborne.
Yeah, the HIND is still showing there as the Mi-24V.
Shoot. Shoot.
Altitude, altitude.
That was close. It's hit. Ah, that exploded. Very nice. Alright, so now I've got a couple more targets, and I have 864 rounds left in the gun. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. I did put some frigates out there. I wanted to see what they look like. So now I'm going to line up. The vehicles are all lined up in a row, so the best bet would be just do a strafing run. And I wonder if the BTR-80, like I've got, for example, I'll pop them right now. I've got flares and ECM that I can pop out. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much that'll do. It's probably visual shooting out of the BTR turret. So I know the BMP fire. They were actually firing. The shots would explode, so they're shooting exploding rounds out of that main gun of theirs. So the first time I tried it with BMPs, it did not turn out very well. So I'm going to try and line up here as best as I can, and just go up that runway there.
Shoot. Shoot.
So there is the self-propelled artillery, the Gvozdikas.
Shoot. Shoot.
Springfield
I
is
could
RTB
theoretically
at
shoot them from
1,800.
so we'll see.
Shoot.
Altitude, altitude.
Oh, looks like I didn't hit him. I didn't hit anything. Weak. I think I'm coming in too shallow. That's nice to see though, the burning BTR-80. Alright, maybe we won't come in. Maybe we'll just do an air show turn. Still figuring this out. It climbs nice, it just does not want to turn at all. As soon as I put it into a bank, I get the stall on it. I'm kind of pissed off, those Gvozdikas. That one, I mean, I put in so many rounds into it. Why is it still alive? Oh, look. Here we go.
Shoot. Shoot.
So it's just sensing that I'm within 1 nautical mile of the gun pippers over the land, so it knows that I could shoot. Whoops.
Altitude, altitude.
Okay, if that doesn't kill that...
Pull up, pull up.
Yeah. It's hit. There we go. Now it's down. I think the artillery was actually... I think the artillery is shooting at the ships. Huh. Isn't that interesting? Well then, I guess I should help the US Navy by taking out the last artillery piece. Let's do another pass here. And finish it out. Finish it off. The MLRS vehicle there, the BM-21 Grad, that's basically the the truck with a bunch of rockets on the back, like basically Katyushka style, like in World War II. It's just a newer truck, basically. All right,
Shoot.
let's go.
Shoot.
Altitude, altitude.
It's on fire.
Shoot.
Let's hit.
Shoot.
Let the auger in. Whew. I do believe there's only 2 more vehicles. How many rounds do I have left? 400 rounds. I should be able to do it. I'll take out that the Grad first, because it should be an unarmored truck, and then the rest of my rounds will go into that HIND-D that's parked on the runway. I don't know how that thing is still alive. There's the F-15 radar again. The nice thing about this is it tells you what kind of radar it thinks it is. So if that's a 23, that's the Shilka ZSU-23. Oh yeah, I did put one of those on the runway once, and about 2 miles away I got shot down. So yeah, we're not going to do that. The other one, the SA-6 missile, is even worse. So until I get a better hang of these things, we're just going to go with softer targets for now. Actually, if I line up and I can take out the Grad first and then put the remaining rounds into the HIND-D, and that's if I go straight for a little while and then come in to a left-hand turn about 2 miles. Line myself up and get the last 2. There's our runway right there. That's where we took off from. See little blue dots? Those are all the tanks that I had lined up there. Alright, so it should be good to go here. It's pretty good lined up, if I do say so myself. I'm a little high, though. I think the Mi-24 is hit.
Shoot.
There's smoke coming off.
Shoot.
Looks like it's hit.
Altitude, altitude.
The rest of it are going into the HIND-D. See smoke? Did I get them all? Looks like I got them all. Well, there we go. Now we can go home. Navigation mode. Next waypoint. Yep, all targets are down. Talk to ATC. Cobbletti. Inbound.
Cobbletti, Hog 1-1, inbound.
And yes, I went with the Hog 1-1.
1-1. Cobbletti, fly heading 292, 45. QFE 29.86. Runway 07 to pattern altitude.
So basically these other aircraft are just doing touch and goes, it looks like. I still feel really bad that the artillery somehow hit that frigate. That's nuts. I guess that's part of the challenge. Maybe I'll hit the self-propelled artillery first. Oops, we're already lined up. There's B-52 right there. Don't know what he's doing. Yes. Another B-52 landing. Let's see it down there. I'm a little high, so we'll just go ahead and throttle all the way back. Drop flaps. As soon as I hit below 150, put the wheels down. Yes, 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 yes. Stall warning. All my flaps are down. We're all good. So this little circle right here is where my plane is headed. I just basically want to walk it up to the threshold there of the runway. I'm coming a little fast. And this thing is telling me that I'm high. It's basically like, and now it's definitely saying I'm high.
Altitude, altitude.
Yes, 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 yes. Should be near the glide slope now. This thing's still staying I'm high. Oh well. I can use my eyeballs. Right now the green circle is there. As I'm closer. Draw all the way back. And just let it stall out right over the runway. A little bit of a bounce, never hurt anybody. Speed brakes out. Get the front wheel on. There we go. Let's try speed braking. Speed brakes are out. Let's try wheel braking. This thing has really, really dodgy wheel brakes. I've skidded right off the runway here before. So I'm just kind of giving it a little bit here. You probably hear the clicking of my on my stick. I'm just giving a little bit here and there. It's starting to slide. Yeah. I mean, I could have used a parachute, but the runway's long enough. It's fine.
Taxi to parking area.
And there we go. We're done. Just taxi to the parking area, which is right over here. We need to get the grounds crew out here. It's looking a little ratty.
Cobbletti, Hog 1-1, request takeoff. Hog 1-1, Cobbletti, clear to taxi to runway 7.
And that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed it.